Hello everyone and welcome to the WFCU Center, the host venue of tonight's NBO Canada clash between the Orangeville A's and the hometown Windsor Express. I am Brett Hedges alongside Kobe K, and today we will be commentating a battle between two teams which desperately need a victory.
Indeed, the Windsor Express have found themselves in some fourth quarter woes. If you examine all of the losses this season, they were outscored in the fourth quarter during 4 of those games, including both recent home road losses. So this is something they need to amend. They need to get some more scoring production out of some additional players. They're getting great numbers out of Chris Commons, averaging 22 points per game, and then newcomer Brandon Robinson at almost 26 points per game. But there isn't anybody else really chipping in on the offensive end. They only have 3 players scoring in double digits, which is down from last year. So this is just a battle of a testament to them needing to find themselves on the offensive end.
Now, where the Windsor Express only have 3 players averaging double digits, the Orangeville A's have 6. That truly speaks to the depth of this organization.
It certainly does. This team comes in with a scoring margin of -6, but they do have 6 players scoring in double digits, led by Justin Moss. I think 26 and 12, just ridiculous numbers. And then Flornard Whitfield, 18 points per game, and then forward Bilal Ben chipping in everywhere, 10 points per game, 5 rebounds, and over 7 assists. Great numbers from the forward spot. So this becomes about defense for the Windsor Express. How do they get this number back down below 100 points per game, where it was most of the season?
Now, one person that you can look for a big impact in today's game is Maurice Bolden for the Windsor Express. He touches almost every single stat, and he blocks shots just like Chris Commons, and that, can lead to a big point margin in a game where it can come down to the final shot.
He definitely is a bright light and shining star for the Windsor Express. Come on, as of late, averages 25 minutes per game, 12.7 boards. Then there's the blocks. Speaking of those blocks, the Windsor Express having a block party nightly. They're averaging 5.6 blocks per game. I think 3 of the top 5 players in the NBL in the block category come from the Windsor Express. It's another testament to how good their defense is.
Mm-hmm. And the importance of this game for both clubs is crucial. Windsor coming off 2 consecutive losses on the East Coast, a 120-119 loss to Moncton and a 107-102 loss to the Island Storm. Whereas the Orangeville A's, this could be a big statement game for them if they knock off the Windsor Express for the second time this season.
Absolutely. We're watching the London Lightning start to take off in the Central Division. And the Windsor Express now kind of out in that middle spot. So it's Orangeville just below the Windsor Express. I believe they have 2 wins. Windsor's lost 2 in a row on the road. They desperately need a W here at the WFCU Center. What a statement it would be if the Orangeville A's could come in here and steal one from the Windsor Express.
Well, they've already done it. Last time that we were here 3 weeks ago, it was the Orangeville A's knocking off the Windsor Express with a late 3-pointer from Bilal Ben. We'll see if there are some more heroics in today's game here on Knockstrom.tv. We'll join you shortly for tip-off after the national anthem.
And now Express Nation, get live. We're going to bring on you Windsor Express. We're standing live from the South team. A 6'1" point guard from Chicago, Illinois, number 5, Tony Bennett.
Welcome to the WFCU Center, ladies and gentlemen. The host venue of today's NBO Canada clash between the Orangeville A's and the Windsor Express. I am Brett Hedges alongside Kobe K, and together we will be commentating today's NBO Canada clash. And Kobe, as we said in the pregame, this is a big game for both clubs as they look to move up the standings in the NBO Canada Central Division.
Certainly a morale booster for the Windsor Express after dropping 2 on the road to come back here and get a W. Very important for them to try to get this thing back going and catch the London Lightning, who are picking up steam as we speak.
One of 3 NBO Canada games on tap today. I'd like to thank you for joining us on Knockstrom.tv. Glad to be here. The Windsor Express, their 3rd game in 4 days after traveling to the Atlantic Division for 2 games against the Moncton Miracles and the Island Storm. Unfortunately, dropping both with scores of 120 to 119 and 107 to 102. As we spoke of earlier, Windsor Express having some woes in the 4th quarter, Kobe, and the acquisition of Paul Cooper to solidify the forward spot might be able to help them out.
Indeed, it becomes just simply about execution, also getting those defensive stops in the 4th quarter, and then putting the ball in the basket. Listen, it hasn't been horrendous, and certainly the scoring margin is very close, and it really is a testament to how talented this league is and how good all of these teams are. I mean, they're not getting blown out in the 4th, it's just there's a small margin of error, and when the quality of basketball is this high, it becomes much easier to lose the game.
And of course, the Orangeville A's knocked off the Windsor Express in the opening game of the NBO Canada season on Boxing Day with a late 3-pointer by Bilal Ben. The Windsor Express then returning the favor on New Year's Day with a big victory there. So game 3 between these 2 clubs of 8 in the regular season. We'll see who takes the rubber match here as both teams go to center court for the ceremonial tip-off. An afternoon start here at the WFCU Center. A little bit of a snowy Sunday afternoon. Glad to see all of our fans can make it here today. And we're just moments away from tipping off. And the Windsor Express will start with Maurice Bolden, Brandon Robinson, Chris Commons, Adrian Moss, and Tony Bennett. For the Orangeville A's, Justin Moss will start in the middle. Flen Whitfield, number 24, along with number 15, David Tyndale at the guard spot. Number 12, Bilal Ben, the man we spoke of earlier who made the big shot on Boxing Day. Jamison Tipping rounding out the starting 5 for the Orangeville A's. We're just getting to the center court now. Maurice Bolden and Flen Whitfield tip off. The game is underway. And you're here on Knockstrom.tv for Windsor Express basketball. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Windsor looking to snap a 2-game losing streak. Maurice Bolden in the low post. Turnaround jumper just a little bit short. Rebound Moss. And as we spoke of earlier, Kobe, Justin Moss has been a beast as of late for the Orangeville A's.
26-12. Beast is an understatement.
Tipping. Gives it to Moss. He crosses over on Maurice Bolden. Stops in the paint. Squares up his shoulders and goes off glass for 2. Opening basket of the game by Justin Moss.
He's going to be a tough cover all night long. A lot of size and strength down there on the block.
Moss slipping a screen, kicking it out to Commons. That's his spot, and he knocks it down for 3.
Averaged over 30 points per game on that 2-game road trip. Chris Commons gets it going early for the Express.
Tyndale in the corner to Ben, swinging it back over to Tipping. Tipping in the low post, spinning on Tony Bennett. He reaches in and backs off. Tipping with a long pass in the corner. Ben gets bumped, kicks it to Tipping. Nice pass at the top of the key. Flynn Whitfield for 3. Just rims out. Brandon Robinson with the rebound. Opening foul of the game is going to go against, I believe it's going to go against Tyndale. Brandon Robinson going to the free throw line. Pardon me, Jameson Tipping with the foul. Robinson to the free throw line. A big acquisition for the Windsor Express earlier this month. The second time all-leading scorer in NBL Canada history. Knocks down the second free throw. He got fouled at the three-point line, so he has one more to go.
And currently just behind Logan Stutz for the leading scorer in the NBL this season. I mean, what an addition. You sign a player that has that much impact on the offensive end, and it's shown as he made the second free throw. And there's Bolden.
Nice long pass from Bolden to Tony Bennett. He finishes it off. They must be watching NFL football this weekend with all the divisional round matchups going on.
It started with a big defensive play in the paint.
Tyndale, jumper in the middle of the key. It doesn't fall. Chris Commons with the rebound. Brandon Robinson with the rock. Crossing over, top of the key. Step in it. Lets it go, and it's good.
And a great start for the Windsor Express as they go up by 8. Clicking and firing on all cylinders so far.
2.5 minutes gone here in the opening quarter. Windsor Express lead 10-2. Justin Moss in the low post trying to get it going for the A's. Maurice Bolden with some active hands swipes that ball away. Chris Commons saves it from going out of bounds. Adrian Moss at the free throw line kicks it out to Commons. He gives the jab step, crosses over, spins to the baseline. Working against Flynn Whitfield off the glass, just no good. You see that footwork from Commons there. He's got the ball again. He pulls it out, and the Express will reset. Gotta love that footwork from Commons in the low post.
Yeah, that was absolutely spectacular. Ball just didn't drop, but that one does for Mr. Tony Bennett, Mr. 40+.
Baseline drive, sneaks it in on with the left hand on the right side. Windsor leads 12-2. Skip pass into the corner, Tipping for 3. Leaves it short, air ball, Maurice Bolden.
The Express doing a great job boxing out and getting those boards. The A's averaging almost 16 offensive rebounds per game. They're going to want to be able to limit that tonight.
Tony Bennett scores off the glass to push the lead to 14-12, and Orangeville A's head coach Chris Thomas calls timeout.
And a good time to do so as the lead balloons to 12. The Express working really well together right now as a unit. They come into this game averaging 24 team assists per game, rotating the ball well, but more importantly, playing defense and boxing out.
You're watching Windsor Express basketball on Knockstrom.tv. Folks, stick around for the halftime show with Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince with Knockstrom.tv. They do a great job covering the league, and what a week it has been in the league. Windsor Express dropping 2 games in the Atlantic
division.
So many buzzer beaters, so many close games. I mean, there's so much ensuing drama, and it's just a testament, like I said, to the quality of basketball that's being played in the NBL Canada right now. So every game just seems like it gets more exciting each week, and this week absolutely no different. The Express start this game 5 for 7 from the field, shooting 71.43%. Absolutely fantastic start. 1 for 1 from long. This is the kind of offensive start that the Express were looking for.
Now, it's a good start for the Windsor Express, but looking at the Windsor Express bench, I'm wondering to myself, when does Paul Cooper enter the lineup? I forgot to mention him in the pregame. Recently signed by the Windsor Express. He takes over for Shane Ross, who was released. Paul Cooper, former member of the Mississauga Power, 6'9", 215-pound guy out of Texas Tech. He's looking to be a key member of this squad.
Yeah, we'll have to see, how and where he fits into Tony Jones's lineup and this team. We don't know yet, but I'm sure it's another important piece for the Windsor Express as they look to take control of the Central Division.
Steal right off the bat. Tony Bennett scoops it up and scores. That active defense from the Windsor Express strikes again.
He's 4 for 4 from the field, leads the NBL in steals, over 2 per game. Tony Bennett's on-ball defense on showcase this afternoon.
And going to the rack and drawing a foul. Being inserted to the game, number 2, Rick Bodiford for the Orangeville A's. When we saw him 3 weeks ago, he was a key member of the Orangeville A's success in that opening day victory.
Indeed, they have many players in that roster that are capable, and I'm sure they're going to get it going as the score now 16-3 in favor of the Windsor Express.
Chris Commons in the low post being bumped by Justin Moss as the ball goes out of bounds. Tony Bennett trying to sneak it in there, but the big, powerful Moss proving a powerful adversary for Chris Commons. Chris Commons on the inbound, sneaks it in around Moss and pushes the Windsor Express lead to 18-4.
Using speed to his advantage, able to just use a pretty little spin move to get a step on Justin Moss.
Brandon Robinson tips that ball away from Jamison tipping. He drives, kicks it into the corner. Bodiford thought about it. He looks into the post, bumps off of Justin Moss's shoulder. Here's Flynn Whitfield going off the glass. No good.
A great defense there for the Windsor Express.
Moss to Commons. Commons thought about shooting, gave it up to Brandon Robinson. Over to Moss now. Crossing over at the top of the key, kicking it out to Mo Bolden for 3. No good. Bodiford flies in to grab the rebound. Now he brings it up the floor. Bodiford elbow jumper off the heel, no good. Moss with the rebound.
Adrian Moss, a guy they want to get going. He's not averaging double-digit scoring, shooting 38% from the field, 26 from long, but a very capable player. We watched him drop over 40 against the Raptors 905.
High screen and roll from Robinson. He steps up and knocks it down. Another big basket from Brandon Robinson.
He has absolutely no fear when it comes to shooting the basketball, and supreme confidence. He'll just bust Jays in dudes' faces all night long.
Flynn Whitfield, top of the key. Brandon Robinson flies in. Whitfield gets it to go off the glass.
Bernard Whitfield, 18 points per game, showing what he can do on the offensive end.
Just from across the pond in Detroit, Michigan. Adrian Moss swings it over to Chris Commons, over to TB. Brandon Robinson can't knock down the baseline jumper. Moss brings it up the floor, leaves it over for Ben. Justin Moss facing up on Maurice Bolden. Kicks it out to Tipping. End of the shot clock. He knocks it down. Jamison Tipping for 3.
All kind of space to shoot, and the right shot drains it.
Commons at the high post. Step back jumper. It's good.
The money man, number 24, Mr. Chris Commons.
Moss. You pass to Moss just a little outside of his reach. Goes out of bounds, and it's another turnover. And when you're down 22-9, you can't really afford to do too many of those.
No, and Tony Jones has 2 and 3 white and red jerseys in the painted area at all times. They're really doing a great job cutting off the lane, forcing the Orangeville A's into relying and, being left with the outside shot.
Not too sure. No, they just called us timeout on the floor. No. I thought someone called the timeout, and then the A's came back on the floor. So, Windsor Express take over. Just 5 minutes to go here in the opening quarter on Knockstrom.tv. Thanks for joining us. TB off the screen. Wow, nice pass to Mo Bolden. He slices into the lane and draws a foul on Justin Moss. Creative pass from TB leads to a foul.
Yeah, off the back shoulder, looked like he was playing quarterback. Hits his player right in the numbers. I was about to say receiver.
Adrian Moss gets a defender up in the air, kicks it out to Robinson. Robinson tried to find Maurice Bolden, but the A's defense was there, knocks it out of bounds. Express get the ball back. Just 3 seconds on the shot clock. And the Express knock it down. Brandon Robinson at the end of the shot clock.
And the perfect play call with the little dish. There was space there, and Brandon Robinson drains it.
Bilal Ben looking to get his team going. He drives to the baseline and pulls it out. Tipping around a Moss screen. Tried to shovel it to a backdoor cutting Rick Bodiford, but it was off an Express leg. Kickball.
Good instincts from Tipping there, trying to slide in the bounce pass, but the Express D not having none of it.
Bilal Ben going to be called with a offensive foul. TB once again. Man taking the harm in the middle of the key.
He does it night in and night out. Tony Bennett sacrifices his body for the greater good of the Windsor Express every time we watch him play.
Always gives his all. And we're forgetting that these guys probably got in last night from from PEI. As a turnover off the baseline. Probably had to go from PEI to Halifax to fly home, I would imagine. That's one of the major airlines there.
Yeah, that pass from Chris Commons was spectacular. Maurice Bolden wasn't expecting it.
Last time we were here, we saw Maurice Bolden go off and win player of the game.
Yes, I remember that performance very well. Hit on all 3 of Major Cats. He was electric.
Bodiford working against TB. He was going for a spin move. They'll say it went off of Tony. Off of a pretty solid defensive play in the low post.
And we're seeing some substitutions now as in comes Vercelli, who has made quite an impact off the bench so far in this 15-16 season.
Vercelli, no.
There's another one.
TB with a layup at the rack.
Another steal and another bucket for Mr. 40+.
Thought TB was actually going to dunk it there. He's saving himself, I'm sure. Wow, another turnover. Brandon Robinson leads to a Tony Bennett dish to Commons. He takes the harm. Oh, and cannot convert from down low.
But was able to secure the offensive rebound, which gave him the opportunity to shoot again and get himself on the line. Chris Commons, this guy has played MVP-type basketball so far this year. He's got 7 points tonight, 3 for 4 from the field. I can't say enough about his play on both ends.
And after dropping their last 2 games, the Windsor Express coming out flying against the Orangeville A's. Chris Commons trying to make it a 19-point spread with 3 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Chris Commons converts, and Windsor is up 29-11. Orangeville needs an answer. Rick Bodiford steps into the three-point line, steps around the defender, and another turnover. Tony Bennett there again. Gets around the defender, and Lubisha Vercelli with the follow-up tip-in.
Tony Bennett with, I believe, 4 steals. Don't quote me on that. I'll have that number soon. But my Lord, what defense this guy is playing.
Shaquille Keith going to sub out for Tony Bennett, who got up as soon as he took that bump and said, "Take me out, coach."
Double-digit scoring, 10 points for Mr. Tony Bennett. And then, of course, the all-star-ish, like, on-ball defense we've seen so far through this first quarter.
Jamison Tipping taking the handoff from Tyndale. Shaquille Keith, who just checked in, all over Tipping. Nice pass from Tipping into the high post. Rick Bodiford going off the screen. He rises up, takes a bump, can't get it to fall. With the follow-up, number 31, Eric Copes with the basket.
Yeah, Orangeville able to retain possession, giving them the extra shot, and that's what they need to do if they want to get back in this thing.
Shaquille Keith in the corner for Chris Commons. He puts a jab step and he drives in the middle, puts up a hook shot, and he goes off the glass and good.
And in the face of the Orangeville A's, Chris Commons, full confidence right now, and it's showing on the scoreboard.
Bodiford at the top of the key, gets a high screen from Copes, swings it back out. Flynn Whitfield steps in, kicks it out to Jamison for another three-pointer. And
He's feeling that spot right now, Brett.
2 3-pointers from the exact same spot. 5 straight points for the Orangeville A's. Robinson with a 3, leaves it short. Jamison Tipping with the rebound. He brings it up the floor. Whitfield. Nice spin move, nice little pivot move in the lane. He scores off glass and good. Orangeville A's looking to make a run before the end of the first quarter. Oh, Robinson trying to find Commons in the low post. Commons looking for a call. No good, and the Orangeville takes over possession with under a minute to go. Looking to cut this deficit to single digits, I would imagine, Kobe, before the end of the queue. This Lubisha Vercelli is going to be called for a foul. Fronting Eric Copes a little bit too much, is going to be called for the push. 43 seconds to go in the frame. Flynn Whitfield. Nice pass in the high post to Copes. He knocks down the free throw line jumper for 2 points and trimming this deficit to 13. Alex Johnson, high screen. Brandon Robinson with a shovel pass from Commons. Commons gets it back, kicks it back to Robinson. Top of the key. 3. Under 10 seconds to go.
The Express keeping their foot on the gas.
Tyndale's going to run out of time.
And a real waste of a possession there to end the quarter for the Orangeville A's, as they desperately needed a basket. I do want to make a stat correction. I spoke of the Windsor Express's steals per game, 9.78. I think they've hit over half that number so far through the through the first quarter. This was all defense translating into great offense.
The Windsor Express lead 36-20 over the Orangeville A's after 1 quarter. You're watching Windsor Express basketball on Knockstrom.tv. We're back here at the WFCU Center. The Windsor Express have a 16-point lead after 1 quarter of play. Kobe K, tell me what you say.
Well, the Windsor Express offensively, flying out of the gate. Collectively, they came into this game shooting 43%, a number that they're going to want to look to improve on. They already have 3 players in double digits, Tony Bennett with 10 points, Brandon Robinson with 13, and Chris Commons with 11. So those 3 guys leading the attack. In fact, they were the only players to score, except for Vercelli, who had 2 points. So it's really been that big 3 for Windsor on the offensive end. But collectively, everybody playing defense. They're also passing the ball well. So 11 total team assists for the Windsor Express. A fantastic start after coming in on losing 2 on the road.
The Windsor Express looking to snap a 2-game losing streak here in the NBL Canada action. Looking to even their record at 5-5.
They also held in check Justin Moss. He only got off 1 field goal, Brett. This is a guy that scores a whole bunch of points for the Orangeville A's, almost 26 per game. So if Orangeville wants to get this thing going, they got to find a way to get the ball inside to Justin Moss so he can do some damage in the painted area.
As DJ Thor pumping up Uptown Funk here to the masses at the WFCU Center. Nice crowd here today. Making it on a snowy afternoon here in Windsor, Ontario. The jewel of Canada, if I will.
And lastly, the Orangeville A's 7 turnovers in the first quarter. That's got to change, if they want to get out of here with the W.
And an early turnover for the Orangeville A's coming out of the quarter break. Not exactly something Chris Thomas drew up. Turnover.
Well, that would be number 8 in the Express with 10 points off turnovers.
Looking to capitalize off of it right here. Alex Johnson at the point. Recently subbed into the contest just before the end of the first quarter. Shaq Keith in the low post. Spinning out. Off the hands of Vercelli, but Mo Bolden gets it back. Step back jumper. Leaves it short. Shaq Keith with the rebound. Bilal Ben takes a swipe. He's called for the foul. Shaq Keith goes to the free throw line.
And the 3rd offensive rebound for the Windsor Express.
Orangeville foul to number 31, Eric Copes, his first personal.
Both teams shooting really well from long. The Orangeville A's 2 for 4. The Windsor Express 3 for 5.
Shaq Keith knocks down the first free throw.
And the Express stay perfect from the line, 6 for 6. Make it 7 for 7. Coming in just over 70%. Doing just putting up some good numbers from the charity stripe so far.
Shaq Keith knocks down both from the free throw line. Alex Johnson nearly comes up with the steal. Tyndale stops in the middle of the key, kicks it back out to Ben. Bilal Ben. In the corner for Bodiford. Steps into a jumper, leaves it long. Mo Bolden with the rebound. And Shaq Keith's going to be called for a foul on the rebound.
And I like the break that Tony Jones is giving Tony Bennett right now. A little bit extra rest after the effort he put forth in the first quarter.
Express foul to number 22, Shaquille Keith, his first personal, team first.
Bilal Ben working in the low post. He can't get it to fall. Lubisha Vercelli can't get his hands on it. Goes off of him. And it will be Orangeville basketball.
Watch that corner 3 for the A's.
Foul's going to be called on the pass. Flenn Whitfield, the fouled party, and Orangeville will get possession on the baseline again. They'll get 14 seconds on the shot clock with a foul under that time. New shot clock rules around FIBA. Orangeville gets the ball in. And at the end of the shot clock, Flynn Whitfield knocks down the jumper, and then he's called for a technical foul. Believe he must have ran into somebody on the Express bench after he knocked down the jumper.
Whitfield 3 for 5 from the field for 6 points, and Orangeville just loving that left side of the basket. Seems to be where they're doing all their damage. But I really like the zone defense set up in the paint by the Windsor Express. And we see someone coming over to provide help whenever necessary. So they're really forcing Orangeville to play on the outside.
Brandon Robinson takes a high screen from Vercelli, and he's going to be called for a moving screen. Big man's just trying to help. Unfortunately, he was there just a little too soon. And that's one of those situations where you really got to have a lot of chemistry with a guy to time that screen properly.
Indeed, and ever so important, and one of the fundamentals in basketball that helps an offense flow and provide space for a player to shoot or penetrate the lane.
Rick Bodiford trying to scoop it with a reverse layup. Vercelli and Mo Bolden were there. Guess we'll give them half a block each. Just adding to the Windsor Express blocks per game as Mo Bolden goes off the glass. Creative drive, using all that length.
With the adjustment in the air.
Eric Copes squaring up and just coming up short with an interior shot. Vercelli standing tall there. Oh, Johnson loses it on his way to the basket.
Only the third turnover for the Windsor Express. Sorry, the fourth turnover for the Windsor Express. 8 for the Orangeville A's.
Bodiford fakes the pass and takes the jumper from the elbow. Knocks it down. Trims the deficit. Orangeville down 41-24. They're looking to make a run in the second quarter here.
Players looking for fouls, but the ref's not having none of it.
Brandon Robinson steals it from Rick Bodiford in transition. Alex Johnson going to get fouled on the pass. Nearly got the dish away to Mo Bolden, but we'll stop the play.
And Alex Johnson looks like he popped it into fourth gear, coming in just past the elbow. Some real speed for Superman.
Alex Johnson getting subbed out now. One too many Express players on the floor. They had to figure out who was getting subbed out. Fresh Coop, and now Paul Cooper making his first appearance in a Windsor Express jersey today. Welcome, Paul, getting the ball right there. Looking to pass it off. Gives it over to Commons. Chris Matthews gives it up to Commons now. Three-pointer, leaves it short. Brandon Robinson shoots it right away, knocks it down from the elbow.
He's got to be one of the best players in the NBL with just a straight-up knockdown J. The man can score the basketball at will and in bunches.
Justin Moss, he got free, but he couldn't score on the left side of the basket. Missed opportunity there. Adrian Moss for three, no good. Tipping with the rebound.
Moss's first field goal attempt of the game. This is
Ben. Does not pass it across, then he gets caught up. Turns it over. Chris Matthews stutter step, puts it off the glass, and good.
And give some credit to Chris Commons, as it was his defense and active hands that helped create the turnover.
Chris Matthews Jr. with his first basket of the game. Guy we haven't seen too much of, but he's got a lot of upside. He's a very good shooter from the outside, looking to find his role here with the Windsor Express. Moss scores, but Robinson's going to be called with a foul on the interior. Play is called dead. It will be A's basketball on the baseline.
7:30 left on the clock for the Orangeville A's to try to, close the gap here and go into halftime with less of a deficit to come out in the second half and try and catch this up.
Tyndale can't knock down the three-pointer. Falls into the hands of Tony Bennett. Windsor with a comfortable 21-point lead. 7 minutes to go here in the second quarter on Knockstrom.tv. Chris Commons gives it up to Matthews. Looking to play a little two-way game. Commons with a hook shot at the end of the shot clock. It's good.
Just uses his body, a little bump to create some space, and then with the little hook shot, beautiful move in the post by Commons.
Jamison tipping with another three-pointer. Looking to spark the Orangeville offense. 47-27 the score now.
And maybe it's the perimeter that's going to do it for the Orangeville A's. They're shooting well from out there right now, and it seems to be where they're getting their best looks from the three-point line.
Chris Matthews going to be called for an illegal screen. And like we said earlier, just trying to find that chemistry with guys trying to set those screens. Some of these guys are new and they haven't played a lot with guys like Moss and Robinson and such, so it's good for them to get this out of the way now as the Windsor Express move forward. We've got a timeout on the floor. Windsor Express lead 47-27 over the Orangeville A's. Ready to go? Welcome back to the WFCU Center. Coming out of the timeout here, midway through the second quarter. Windsor Express up 47-27 in NBL Canada action. Kobe K, what do the Orangeville A's got to do to try and get back into this game?
Well, they need to slow down three guys: Tony Bennett, Brandon Robinson, and Chris Commons. Those are the three players doing all this damage for the Windsor Express, but collectively the team's shooting almost 65%. So really it becomes about getting and finding some big defensive stops for the A's and then making things happen on the offensive end. They got to get some of these guys going. It's really only been Jamison tipping with the Orangeville A's for 9 points.
As Justin Moss draws a foul on Paul Cooper on the opening play after the timeout.
Both teams perfect from the line. Won't be a shooting foul, but talking about these free throws, 2 for 2 are the A's and 8 for 8 are the Express.
And a foul going to be called on the perimeter.
Express foul to number 11, Chris Matthews. His second personal.
Chris Matthews going to be called for his second foul of the game. 6:11 to go in the second frame.
And in the house tonight we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I believe that's Michelangelo the Orange. We have Spider-Man and Elmo.
Wow.
What a trio of mascots. But you can't forget about the conductor, Mr. Coltrane.
That's right.
That's his name?
That's right. Coltrane the conductor.
Coltrane. He's over here kind of alone, not with the other mascots. But he knows he's the boss.
He's a lone wolf.
As he's walking around, fist bumping some kids.
Adrian Moss in the corner.
Having some fun.
Chris Commons in the low post to Tony Bennett. Turnaround jumper, no good. Paul Cooper battling down there, but it's number 21, Anto Rayek, who comes up with it. Pretty pass from Jamison Tipping inside to Justin Moss, and one.
Yeah, Tipping threads the needle, finding Justin Moss. They get him a good shot, and he's able to convert at the rim. He's had a few shots just rim out, or he could be in double digits here, but an important basket, nevertheless,
At the line, number 20.
for the Orangeville A's.
Justin Moss completes the three-point play.
And the lead cut to 15. Getting a little more manageable for the Orangeville A's.
After that timeout, Chris Thomas's team responding. Brandon Robinson thought about taking the three, gives it up to Mo Bolden. He has to pick up his dribble. Playing two-way game there. Justin Moss over-rotates a little bit. It's called for reaching in. Justin Moss got to be a little bit careful. He's a key cog on this team.
20, Justin Moss, his personal third, team fourth.
His personal third foul already, so he's got to take a seat on the bench. So Flenn Whitfield checks in. A formidable substitution, to say the least. Flenn Whitfield, an NBL Canada veteran. Brandon Robinson on the curl, can't get it to go. Flenn Whitfield with the rebound. Had the pleasure of watching Flenn as a member of the Oshawa Power in the Windsor Express's first season, so he's been around for a long time. And there he is again on the interior, getting fouled by Mo Bolden. He'll go to the free throw line.
And the Orangeville A's starting to really attack the rim of the Windsor Express net, able to get back to the free throw line, and they got to get something going down there, Brett.
Flenn Whitfield cannot knock down the first shot. Flenn Whitfield went to Western Michigan, just over the pond here in Windsor. He's a Detroit guy. Feeling more than at home here at the WFCU Center as he completes the second half of the free throws. Cut the deficit to 14 for the Orangeville A's. Offensive foul called again on the screen. Mo Bolden.
And the A's now with an opportunity after the turnover to cut into this lead just a little bit more. 5 minutes left in the second Q. Lots of time to try to get this thing down to maybe double digits or less.
Lots of time indeed. Just under 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Make sure to check out. Oh, there's Jamison Tipping for a long three, no good. And that's not out of his range. He was very close to knocking down that one. It would be at his fourth. Leading the way for the Orangeville A's on the perimeter. Moss working around, getting himself out of the tree, so to speak. Gives it up to Commons. He spins in the post, draws a foul. Number 21. Number 21. There it is. Sorry, Anto Rayek. Let's say I just said it. Why can't I find it? Coming out of Brock University, a Canadian.
Commons using a little crossover move to the left side to create some space to allow the dribble penetration, and that just is a testament to the man's skill set and how much speed he has for a big man. He could be the fastest front court player in the NBL.
Yeah, that's a fair statement to say for sure. Believe this. If this is the 10th game of the season, this is Chris Commons' 101st game in a Windsor Express jersey.
And what a start. 5 for 8 from the field, 14 points, 3 boards, a dime. Perfect from the line and a three-pointer, so getting it done.
In all areas. Jamison Tipping stepping inside the perimeter. He gets blocked, or was knocked away, or rather. Orangeville ball.
Good little crowd here this afternoon for our Sunday afternoon matinee game.
We will be here. Flenn Whitfield with a jumper, knocks it down. Flenn Whitfield showing off the arsenal, knocking it down from the perimeter.
14 points separates these two teams with 4 minutes to go in the second Q.
Moss takes advantage, goes off the glass, and good. Picking his spot right there, saw the opening and knocks it down.
Didn't hesitate, reacted at just the right time. A kiss off the high glass gets Adrian Moss on the board.
Flenn for three.
One of those shots that you just know when you're watching it, when it comes out of the player's hands, it's going in.
Adrian Moss, pardon me, over to comments. He's looking to respond off the glass, no good. Mo Bolden with the rebound. Robinson puts it up right away. No good once again. Tyndale with the basketball. Man down behind the play. Looks like it is Flenn Whitfield.
And Rick Bodiford calling for that ball in that left corner spot. Right by the Express bench.
Flenn Whitfield looking to gather himself a little bit. Might have got a elbow in the nose or something. You and I both know that when the eyes are watering after you get hit in the nose, there are no tougher individuals than the people that can stomach that. So try not having your eyes water if you get hit in the nose. Tell me. Just kidding. Bodiford. Over to Rayek. He's stolen away. Brandon Robinson in transition. Shaq Keith couldn't get it. Tyndale steps into a three. No good. Tipping. Over to number 34, Robert Diggs. He can't knock it down. Windsor Express come up with the rebound.
Orangeville with several chances there, just couldn't convert.
13-point lead for the Express. Could have been a big basket right there for Orangeville. Moss turning the corner and one.
And Moss, we're seeing a little bit of that extra gear as he's able to take flight and finish on the left side. And one play from the point guard, Adrian Moss.
The former University of Indianapolis Greyhound, Adrian Moss.
He's got 4 points, make it 5, 3 dimes. Been a great little addition to the Windsor Express here from the point guard spot.
As you said earlier in November when we had that exhibition game between the Raptors 905 and the Express, Adrian Moss went off.
Man was unconscious.
Another steal. Brandon Robinson stepping into that one. Nope. Jameson tipping. Matching steals. Now here come the A's. In the corner. Tyndale for three. It's good.
And really best case scenario for the Orangeville A's is they're able to steal the ball back and find the open man in the corner once again. 3-ball corner pocket.
Moss working around another screen. Kicks it out to Shaq Keith for three. Oh, circled the drain. Couldn't find the bottom.
Under $1:50 left, the Orangeville A's. This could be a big possession here. They help cut into this deficit.
Tyndale kicks it out. Rick. No good. Robert Diggs with the rebound. He's all of 6'9". Diggs. Rick Bodiford off the screen into the corner for Rick again. No good.
And another offensive rebound for the A's.
Diggs gets fouled on the pass.
So we see the recycled possession there. 2 offensive rebounds from that set. That is not what the Windsor Express want to let the Orangeville A's be doing down there in the paint. They come into this game a great offensive rebounding team. I believe 16 of those per game. And that's a way to let a team, get back in it, or essentially maybe even, steal the lead. So they want to be able to box out and rebound well like they've done throughout this entire game. The Express with 18 rebounds, and the A's with 13.
Diggs converts at the free throw line, trims the deficit to 11 points with just over 1:15 to go here in the second quarter. Commons, top of the key. Puts a floater up, no good. Rock Bodiford.
Too strong.
Too strong for Rayek. Shaq Keith with just under a minute to go in the second quarter gets fouled as he crossed the timeline.
And that would have been a big bucket for the A's. Would have cut it to single digits. Lucky for the Express that didn't drop. Some of these Orangeville A players have a little too much space to shoot from the three-point line for my liking.
Shaq Keith knocks down the first free throw. Folks, at halftime, make sure to check out Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince as they break down everything from across the league.
And the Express, 13 of 13 from the free throw line.
Me and you always speak about free throws and turnovers, how they can determine a basketball game at any level. And the Windsor Express doing a good job from the charity stripe today. Now they're putting on a little bit of a press.
I wonder if they've gone perfect through double-digit free throws in any game this year. You got to wonder, they come in shooting just over 70%, which is a decent number. But 10 for 10, 12 for 12. Updated. Dak Stats has just told us it's 13 for 13. And then the Orangeville A's 8 for 9, so not too shabby themselves.
Absolutely.
Hey fans, don't forget
Both these
to
teams
flash at the Coliseum 3 at
looking to take this game, be a big victory for the Orangeville A's as they try to get back into it in the NBL Central.
online at WindsorExpress.com.
Windsor looking to snap a 2-game skid after going to the Atlantic Division for 2 games against the Moncton Miracles and the Island Storm.
They've got 26 big points in the paint today, however you want to slice it. Great number. The Orangeville A's with 8 points in the paint. So we talk about that Express interior defense and how good it's been this afternoon.
Again, a timing situation figured out here as DJ Thor puts on the Jeopardy. Jeopardy
Talk
music.
about timing.
So 56-43, the Windsor Express lead. Boterford, with some urgency,
With the adjustment, that was just filthy.
wasting no time at all. He gets a bucket for his club. 56-45, 40 seconds to go in the half.
If they manage the clock right here and Orangeville gets a stop, they can cut it to single digits.
Keith pulling it out. They got 8 seconds to go in the shot clock. Kicking it out. He's fouled. We're going to see who that's on. I'm going to give that to number 34. That'll be Robert Diggs collecting the foul. Shaq Keith goes back to the free throw line to do some more damage for the Express.
4 for 4 from the line, make it 5 for 5. Shaquille Keith doing a great job getting to the charity stripe this afternoon.
And he has a good story, too, coming out of Brampton, Ontario. Went to Kilgore College. Spent some time with the Raptors 905. That's where we first saw him during that exhibition game. Comes over to the Express.
Was great.
He was great in that game, and he comes over to the Express as a rookie. Had 24 points in the opening game of the season on Boxing Day. Been a little bit quiet since then. We're looking to see how he develops as the season goes on. As the aforementioned Shaquille Keith gets called for a blocking foul. Tried to sell it there with 8 seconds to go. Boterford goes to the free throw line.
Press foul to number 22, Shaquille Keith. His second
2 shots.
Maybe get it to 10 points for the Orangeville A's if he can make both. The Express will have about 8 seconds to try to close this quarter out.
Boterford misses the front end. You see Orangeville head coach Chris Thomas urging his players to play some defense on the next play or to be ready for anything. And the Windsor Express call timeout with 8 seconds to go, looking to push the ball into the front court and getting a good opportunity at a shot and add to this lead.
Yeah, we've seen them be creative with 3 seconds, so we can certainly expect some Tony Jones play calling magic with 8. 8 ticks is all that remains in the second cue of this one.
And it's been an entertaining first half. Windsor Express got out to a 20-point lead, and at halftime, Justin Prince and Aaron Sanders will be breaking down the first half and all the action going on across the league. Shout out to our crew members here today: Kevin Miller, Dan Shelley, and of course our humble servant, Alejandro. Alex, tell us your thoughts about the first half so far.
Well, it has been an incredible game so far. The Windsor Express dominating in and out, and the A's trying to decipher the riddle of the Windsor Express. The Windsor Express is coming back with hurt, with some motivation for getting some kind of redemption after the disappointing travel to Maritimes.
And we here at Knoxstrom.tv are proud to announce that we'll be streaming live from Caesars Casino here in Windsor
That's right.
At the Clash of the Coliseum 3 on February 3rd. And of course, we're excited about that, aren't we, Alex?
Of course we are.
Moss working to move the ball up the floor. Puts it up at the buzzer. No good. A long heave goes off. Nice chuck there. I believe that was Jameson Tipping who heaved it. The Windsor Express lead 57-46 at the end of the first half. Kobe, your thoughts?
Well, the Orangeville A's, found a way to score in the second quarter and close things out, certainly better than they started the game. The Windsor Express shooting collectively 55% through 2 quarters. They've 93% from the line, 15 shots. So, no, it's been a great game so far. Expect a better Orangeville team in the third and fourth Q.
We'll be right back here with the halftime show with Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince. You're watching Windsor Express basketball on Knockstrom.tv.
Out-of-town scores. Well, if you want a great Sunday afternoon filled with sports and great action, you got it right here. The Windsor Express on top of the Orangeville A's 57-46. Ladies and gentlemen, kick back and relax. We have another edition of the Knockstrom halftime for you. As always, I'm Aaron Sanders. With me, my sidekick, JP Justin Prince. And every time we're here, JP, a home game, the Windsor Express really step it up on their offense. This game's no different.
Yes, I definitely agree, because right now, to start things off here with this game, the Windsor Express are on fire, it seems, on offense. They started off with a 14-2 run in this game, and they have just shown much more hustle, both on offense and defense, compared to the Orangeville A's so far in this one.
Well, talk about that. I mean, we have an exciting first quarter where the Express led by as much as 20, and then we have the second quarter where, Brampton finally woke up on their defense and tighten up all those gaps and everything. What do you think of their defense so far as we have 2 quarters of play already done here?
I definitely agree. To start off this game, they seem like they're half asleep on defense, while the Windsor Express themselves were showing 100% hustle. That kind of has balanced out a bit here after the second quarter, because the Orangeville A's are playing much better on defense. They actually scored more points in the second quarter, 26 points in the second quarter compared to 21 for the Windsor Express. So their defense has definitely improved in the second quarter. Question is, can they keep it up in the second half to try and close down this lead, which is currently 11 points, 57-46 right now.
Neither Brampton or Orangeville, either or, they always show up with a physical game. Like the last game, they showed up with a physical game, and they're really stepping up the physicality in the second half. Tough defense, great offense. They really need to look for more of the open shots and be confident with those shots, because they missed a couple right there. Heartbreak City threes, Heartbreak City layups. You really need to take advantage of that to keep up with the momentum of the game. All right, that's it for this game for a little bit. We're going to go to what happened with the Windsor Express this week. They played 2 games, and tough 2 games to lose. They're riding on a 2-game losing streak. Let's talk about the game against Moncton in Moncton on the 14th.
Yes, well, on the 14th, as you see with this box score up right here, the Moncton Miracles beat the Windsor Express 120-119 for their 3rd straight victory on the season, as that started off the interconference play for the NBL Canada. The Moncton Miracles, led by James Justice, 26 points in that matchup with 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 8 for 15 shooting by Commons. And Brandon Robinson were also on fire in that game, 31 points and 27 points each. But at the same time, Maurice Bolden fouled out of that one with 24 points, 11 rebounds, and 55 bench points for the Moncton Miracles. As we take off that box score, let me say, though, that Windsor led for a majority of that matchup against that team, the Miracles. But multiple times, the Miracles rallied back in that game until bada bing, bada boom, they won the game.
Yes, and this was the 4th Express game that came down to a margin of 3 points or less coming down in the stretch.
Yes, I definitely, right now, I can say that. Because, like with this game, as you're seeing here, the Moncton Miracles started off with very lax defense against the offense for the Windsor Express. They improved that as time went on, and let me say, they ended up locking down the Express by the end of that game, forcing them with the contested shots and so forth. And depending on how you look at it, Windsor also would depend on the 3 early, making a bunch of threes to start off, but finished 8 of 35 in that matchup from the 3-point line.
Wow.
You cannot shoot that many shots and miss that many shots.
I guess it was the challenge of confidence 8 of 35 is shooting. It was a tough game to take in, especially within that margin. A 1-point loss. And now we go to the day after where they went to Charlottetown to play the Island Storm. And from my view, that was a really tough game to take in, especially if you're watching it as a Windsor fan. Windsor Express lost to the Island Storm 107 to 102. And from what I've seen, the Storm relied more on their inside defense. For example, they had the formation set up, they had box in the defense, and with that type of inside defense, you would usually expect Windsor's outside shooters to come out on the court and, have a big game, take advantage of the opportunity. But unfortunately, what really stood out to me the most and what really infuriated me was the fact that Windsor did not take advantage of the inside defense. That really killed their chances. It cost them to coming back in the game. Nobody stepped up in the post. And nobody, took up the signs. Nobody was communicating in there, which allowed, Brian Addison to become a post force for the Island Storm. And it also allowed Gary Gibson, to step on the moment. Gary Gibson, formerly of the Windsor Express last season, he really stepped up in the clutch, came up with an inbound steal, knocked down 2 free throws, which became the dagger. And I'll tell you this, Windsor really had to step up in the inside defense. That really brought down their confidence, but completely different story today. So now Windsor is riding on a 2-game losing streak, 4-5 right now.
Yes, so right now, if you're the Windsor Express, you have to forget about that road trip for sure, because that's the first time they go out to the Atlantic Division teams right now this season. They have to put that in their past, in the rearview mirror, and try and focus on the now, because right now this team is still 4-5. Very good chance right now to move to 5-5, to move back to 500 in this game. But for the most part, if you keep on getting in different games, like multiple times this season, the Express have ended up being out-rebounded by double digits. Like in that Island Storm game, they were close up in that game, but they were also out-rebounded 61-42. Allowed 22 offensive rebounds and 32 second chance points. You can't have that happen if you're the Windsor Express and you want to win games in every single matchup.
Let me tell you something. First of all. I mean, the Express can't rely on Chris Crommons or Maurice Bolden all the time when it comes to post-perimeter play like that, because eventually they have their limits, and you really have to step up. Whether if you're a point guard or a small forward or whatnot, you really got to know the signs that, hey, I got to step up because this could be a crucial game. Somebody has to contest those shots when you're down in the clutch. And for Windsor to pull off a loss like that, unfortunately, that really goes to show how much improvements they really need to make in the postgame.
I definitely agree, because right now, if you're the Windsor Express, you need to have basically all aspects of your game to work well if you want to be a championship team. You cannot keep on getting out-rebounded. You cannot keep on getting difficulties in the post. You got to improve those things, because I know defense wins championships, but at the same time, if you don't score the ball, you can't kind of get in the lead, even if you play good defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all defense, especially in the clutch. I mean, for example, if you want to contest a shot, then fine. If they make it, good on them. But the way I see it, if you want to become clutch, you really have to have a master lock defense and not be afraid to take a few bops in the mouth when you're down in the paint, because you can't expect to be all willy-nilly and get away with nothing if you play in the post. All right, that's enough for that. After our commercial break, we're going to break down the NBLC Player of the Week and what to expect in the second half. So we're going to pause right here. We'll be back following this commercial timeout. You're watching the Nordstrom Halftime.
Do you love me?
Of course I love you. Hey, guess what? I got a job interview tomorrow.
Hunter, you're not listening. How do you know that my love for you is real? Is any of this real?
You have delusional psychosis.
Look, you're now working for a powerful drug cartel.
I want to get out of here and move on. It's not gonna Sometimes love can blind people from reality.
57-46. That is the score at halftime. The Windsor Express on the lead over the Orangeville A's. Welcome back to the Knoxroom Halftime. Aaron Sanders, Justin Prince. We'll quickly go over the NBLC Player of the Week. And for the second week in a row, he is performing well on the court. And he is from the Windsor Express, Brandon Robinson. That 6'5" forward, 185 pounds. JP, what can we say about this fella?
Yeah, well, I can say, as we bring up the stats here, as you can see here, he had a dominant week for the week of ending in January 10th. 2 games played, 25.5 points per game, 11.5 rebounds, and so forth. But when you're having the second all-time leading scorer on your roster in the history of NBL Canada, like him, you expect him to be an exciting player to watch, and he has been an exciting player to watch so far. He's shown a lot of effort on the floor, he's shown consistency scoring, he's shown he can make shots both contested and wide open, and he's shown he's had a post-game that is surprising for a forward like himself. But for the most part, I want to say this. In the first 2 appearances before he officially joined the Windsor Express for his first game on New Year's Day, the Windsor Express averaged 38% shooting and 88 points per game. Since then, they've averaged 45.4% shooting and 106.7 points per game since his first game in an Express uniform. I can say right now, for him, he is one of the main reasons, including Bolden and so forth, that this team is being as good as it is so far. Because, as you can tell, major impact on offense for sure.
Well, Brandon Robinson, let me say a few more things about him. He is a confident mid-range shooter. And you know what? So far this season, he's known to get the team started. And I see him next to Maurice Bolden as a positive role model on the court. He's a guy that, will take rebounds. And, we'll take less shots more than often. I mean, you look at guys like Chris Commons. If he's off the court, you can always rely on Maurice Bolden and our player of the week, Brandon Robinson. He is a confident guy, mid-range shooter. All right, we're running out of time here, so we're going to mention the out-of-town scores at the end at the Knoxstrom post game. The way I see it, the second half, I expect the Windsor Express really to pick it up because they really let Orangeville's defense step up.
I definitely agree right now, and I can already say if Orangeville can keep up their defense, for example, they are going to figure out a way to come back in this one because the Express were up by 21 points. Now they're only down by 11. Question is, will they keep it up once this game gets underway for the second half?
Well, we shall find out right now. This has been the Knoxroom Halftime. Stick around after the game. JP and I will break down more stats for you and out-of-town scores at the Knoxroom postgame. But for now, it is second half action time, so let's send it back to the guys who will call it the best, Brett Hedges and Kobe K. All yours, gentlemen.
Welcome back to the WFCU Center, ladies and gentlemen. A great halftime report by Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince, breaking down the out-of-town scoreboard. And the player of the week, which was Brandon Robinson. He currently leads the Windsor Express with 16 points at the first half. Kobe, tell us your thoughts about the whole first half in general.
Well, it was Brandon Robinson for sure that really did a bulk of the damage. As it's 16 points, he's hit two triples. He's 4 for 4 from the line. He's also chipped in 3 boards and 3 dimes. Of course, Tony Bennett with the defense. We know he had, 4 steals. He's got 10 points, scored massive points off turnovers. And then Chris Commons, 5 for 10 from the field, 4 for 4 from the line, 3 boards and an assist, 15 big points. They've also got some production out of some other players. Shaquille Keith with 5 points, Adrian Moss with 5 points, then Chris Matthews chipped in with a bucket, Maurice Bolden, and then Vercelli. They all had 2 points, but every point counts for the Windsor Express. They did a bulk of their damage in the paint, scoring 26 points there, and had 16 points off of the Orangeville A's 12 turnovers. So it was once again the elite defense that the Windsor Express can showcase that turned into great offense. The Orangeville A's, we know they played much better in the second quarter, now collectively shooting 16 of 35 from the field for 45%. They are 5 of 12 from the 3-point line, 41%. So that's a spot that the Windsor Express are going to have to lock down, protecting that perimeter. And then, of course, Jameson Tipping with the 11 points, 3 of 6 from the field. He hit 3 of those triples, Brett. So they're just going to have to be very mindful of the 3-point line. And also for Leonard Whitfield, who had 12 points.
Tony Bennett will start it up for the Windsor Express, and they take an 11-point lead into the second half. 57-46 the score. Chris Commons on the opening possession, and one. That's a good way to start the second half here on Knockstrom.tv.
17 points for Commons. You know, I love it when they come out of a timeout or start a game, second half, and they go to Commons down low.
Beautiful thing. Chris Commons scoring his 17th point, looking to make it 18 as the Express want to go up and even 14, and they do.
Easy money.
60-46. Orangeville looking to respond. Looking to knock off the Express for the second time this season. Third meeting between the two clubs. Moss spinning those shoulders. Going to draw a foul, but it's on the floor. Big physical matchup down low between Commons and Justin Moss.
And you used the word beast to describe him earlier, and I believe that term was spot on. Wow, strength of that guy in the post.
6'8", 240 pounds with a reverse layup. Robert Diggs with the slam home on the follow-up. Good energy play for the Orangeville A's to get them back into it. They trail by 12, and the Windsor Express called for an illegal screen.
So great start here to the third quarter for the Orangeville A's. Able to get a bucket off the putback. Now they got a turnover. Maybe take this thing down to 10 points. 9 if they're lucky.
10th game of the regular season for the Windsor Express. Currently 4-5 after dropping 2 consecutive games out east to Moncton and the Island. Justin Moss at the high post has the ball batted away, and off of his foot, Tony Bennett there with the active defense once again.
He is a terror for anybody playing offense when he's on the floor. He has been hands down the Express's best defensive player this afternoon. And another steal. Sorry, almost another bucket. I'm so used to seeing him steal the basketball.
Tyndale in transition, the 3 no good. Robert Diggs down low, outweights him, gets blocked. Brandon Robinson has it. And another block for the Windsor Express defense. Robinson out to Commons. Moss gets inside to Mo Bolvin. Inside for 2.
Highlight reel stuff right there for the Windsor Express.
Tony Bennett was hiding in the corner after that play and came up right behind Tyndale. They moved the ball up quickly, get it into the front court.
And that's Adrian Moss showing off the dribble penetration there to make that play happen.
Diggs, turnaround jumper off the glass, no good. Adrian Moss gets it. Turning the corner, Tyndale. Adrian Moss scoring off the bounce.
We talked about him getting going, and we're seeing it happen right here before our eyes.
Tipping inside, has the ball stolen from Robinson. He got wedged in between 2 Express players and got dislodged from the ball. Tony Bennett in the corner stepped out of bounds, said the official. Rick Bodiford checking into the game now for Orangeville.
I'm absolutely loving the backcourt pairing of Tony Bennett and Adrian Moss for many reasons.
Well, of course, you can't deny the production that the two have had together.
Moss, 7 points, 4 assists, 3 boards. He's 3 for 5 from the field, so much better shooting percentage so far out of him this afternoon.
Bilal Ben kicks it out to Bodiford. That ball is swiped away by Tony Bennett. Bodiford's going to be called for a foul. Before the Windsor Express could do that and make it count.
So does he get registered for the steal there? Did he have...
I believe so. He picked it up away from Rick Bodiford.
Unfortunately, our DAC stats don't have the steals cat on the program, but we will have that after the game, and it'll be interesting to see. Maybe he gets up to 10 steals in one game here. Double-double with steals.
Well, when I look at the quick dot stats here, the Express have 13 steals to go along with 16 assists. 10 turnovers, but playing at a very high level. Add 4 blocks to that total as well. So the Express clicking on all cylinders, it seems here.
And points in the paint doubling up. The Orangeville A's, the Express with 32 to Orangeville's 12. So virtually doubling them up. And then we do rather recognize here the Orangeville A's, and we talked about that depth at the start of the game, 15 points off the bench for Orangeville, so they're going to look for anybody they can to provide some offensive production.
So Bodiford was called for a clear path foul. That's what I'm going to call it. So Windsor Express had 2 shots and possession. They currently lead by 17 points. Mo Bolden just inside the 3-point line. Brandon Robinson was there, just went off his hand though, and here come the A's. Bilal Ben gives it over to Bodiford on the wing. He gets a screen from Diggs. No, it's poked away from Bennett again. He scoops and scores. Tony Bennett getting it done. Defense to offense right away.
Another steal, another bucket.
Tipping steps into a jumper, and it's good. Jameson Tipping adding to his team high total.
Gotta love the patience and hesitation as Tipping gets set and then knocks down the jumper.
Yeah, with that bucket, he goes ahead of Flen Whitfield for the team high today. Tony Bennett, creative pass to Mo Bolden for 3. No, just off the mark. If that had gone in, I'm sure Audley Stevenson would have been cutting that one up for some of those highlights you see on Instagram. As Robert Diggs scores off the glass and good for 2. If you don't, make sure to follow NBO Canada on Instagram for some highlights from around the league. Brandon Robinson for 3, no good. Diggs in transition, double pumps, gets it to go.
And 8 points for Robert Diggs. Now putting in some work for the Orangeville A's.
Timeout called on the floor. The Windsor Express leads 67-52 here in the third quarter. And a nice little run here from the Orangeville A's.
They just need some defensive stops, Brett, because Windsor's matching almost bucket for bucket. And it's not allowing them to stay cut into this lead. They've got it within 10 and close numbers like that, but they haven't really got it close enough that the Windsor Express were in position of losing control of the game. So it's about defensive stops.
Orangeville trailed by 11 at the half. They currently trail by 13. I thought it was much closer than that. Orangeville playing at a high level. They just need to knock down shots and get defensive stops. That's basically the name of the game. And another week in the NBL Canada, providing some exciting highlights. Had some last-second finishes earlier in the week. Moncton coming out with a 120-119 victory over Windsor, and the Island Storm pulling it out with a 107-102. Gary Gibson, former Windsor Express point guard with the championship squad last year, having a big impact on on that game. So it's always good to see Gary contributing. A Windsor native as well. So
that was truly the final nail in the coffin. Real quick, I do want to touch on a couple things you just spoke on, and that was the 16 turnovers of the Orangeville A's. Where if we want to talk about how they're going to really get back in this game or win this game, they've got to stop turning the basketball over. 14 steals for the Windsor Express, and then 19 points off turnovers for Windsor. So those are some really high-level defensive numbers.
Got to take care of the basketball. I almost said
take care of the
football.
That's because playoff football is going on right now, and the New England Patriots reminded everybody when they're healthy what they can do.
And the referees in the Green Bay Arizona game told us how not to flip a coin. Brandon Robinson. I believe there's going to be a foul down low away from the ball. I believe it's going to be Diggs called for the foul. I was right.
As usual.
As per usual. Brandon Robinson, the trigger man on the play. He gets it inside to Mo Bolden. Dribbles in the post, leaves it for Robinson. He pulls it out, looking for a high screen. No, he's going to go ISO. Stop. Oh, Rick Bodiford with the steal. Pushing the ball up the floor to Jameson Tipping. Finds Moss posting up. Offensive foul. He got position, just turned a little bit too violently, I guess, Justin Moss. And Chris Thomas is arguing that Tony Bennett was within the circle. And he might have had a case there.
I think he did. I was just going to say,
he has a case for sure.
I think he does.
Justin Moss just put that big old hip into him, sent him flying.
I don't know if I'd like to post. I don't know if I'd want to be posting up with that guy in the painted area.
Spoke with him after the game on Boxing Day. Nice guy. Tony Bennett off the glass. No good. Lubisha Vercelli couldn't get it to go. Here's Justin Moss in transition. Turns it over. Adrian Moss, the last to touch it. A's maintained possession with just over 7 minutes to go in the third.
Moss playing a little point guard there in transition. Showing off those handles.
Tony Bennett and Bodiford. The relentless defender, Tony Bennett.
First he almost picks off the pass, then he comes down and almost steals the basketball. He is a nightmare right now. If you're the Orangeville A's and you see that number 5 anywhere on the floor, you got to be cautious. Creating turnovers like 90.
So they're going to say that's a backcourt violation because he had established his feet in the front court before he established himself in the backcourt to take that pass. So yeah, that's a backcourt violation.
And it's another turnover. Count them, 17 for the Orangeville A's.
So unless he had established his feet inside. Yes, so as Adrian Moss puts 2 feet inside the front court now for the Windsor Express and gets himself out of trouble. Chris Commons has the ball poked away. Bilal Ben in transition now. At the top of the key. Pulls it back out, going one-on-one with Vercelli. Crossing over, kicks it out. Foul on the pass. Tony Bennett going to be called for a foul, I believe.
Express foul number 5, Tony Bennett.
Team third of the quarter, 6:40 to go. Orangeville drawing it up. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Bilal Ben waiting for his teammate Bodiford. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Moss gets it off, no good. Saved from going out of bounds by Moss, but it's right to Bodiford for 3. And he does not get the shooter's roll. Windsor in transition. One of those plays for the Orangeville A's that just haven't happened that could have trimmed the deficit to 10. As now Bodiford going to be called for a foul. It even had the second chance going off the top of the rim.
Just wouldn't drop. The Orangeville A's now 5 for 14 from long.
Robinson gets it into. No, that's tipped away. Robert Diggs. Gonna be fouled from Adrian Moss. They're gonna call intentional, and so could be a big sequence of plays here for Orangeville if they get 2 free throws in the ball back. 5-point swing potentially.
And important at this point because they're having a great deal of difficulty taking the momentum away from the Windsor Express.
Diggs heads to the free throw line. The players will clear out. Diggs making his presence felt today, the 6'9" forward out of George Washington. Has a good stat line going. 8 points, 5 rebounds. Looking to add to it here.
And I will bring you up to speed on a few of those Orangeville A's numbers. Jamison Tipping, 13 points, 5 assists, 4 boards, 4 for 7 from the field, but he's hit 3 triples. And then, of course, Florent Whitfield, 5 of 7 from the field, 1 of 2 from long, 1 of 2 from the line. He's got 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and then obviously those 12 points we talked about.
Well, we have not seen Flynn Whitfield in the second half, to my knowledge.
And
he went down earlier. So hopefully he's okay. Maybe we'll see him later in the game. Chris Thomas maybe saving him for a big push.
And our game scoring leader right now, Chris Commons, he's got 18, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 of 5 for the line. Chris Commons getting it done on both ends.
Chris Commons bringing his team together at center court as Robert Diggs knocks down 2 free throws.
He showed some big-time leadership this year, Brett, for the Windsor Express, and that was something that needed to happen coming in with all the roster changes.
Tipping. Get it inside to Moss. He fakes a shot on Vercelli, sweeps it through, puts up a reverse layup, and they'll say the foul on Vercelli is going to go on the floor. A's take over possession.
Express foul to Lou Purcell, his 3rd, team 5th.
Potential for Orangeville to get it to single digits, depending on what happens on this possession.
And the inbounds pass is picked off. Brandon Robinson in transition. It's good. Sneaks it in to push the lead to 13 points.
Off of Tony Bennett's steal, and when the Orangeville A's are knocking on the door, Windsor comes up with a big defensive play.
4-point swing there. Lead now 13. Moss steps inside the 3-point line, blocked by Vercelli. Swings it out to Jamison Tipping. His foot was on the line, no good. Vercelli can't get the ball. And now Moss is going to be called for a foul on the rebound. That's a tough one. Tough job those officials have.
There'll be 3 fouls for Adrian Moss, I believe.
So Moss is going to take off, go to the bench. Alex Johnson checks in, and Alex Johnson, a big signing for the Windsor Express. Canadian point guard.
He's got some nice sneakers, too.
Like that color.
Light blue Nikes.
Commons has the ball poked away. Brandon Robinson gets it, though. Under 10 seconds to go. Oh, Vercelli just can't hang on to it. The Express have 4 seconds. Robinson puts it up with Bilal Ben on his hip. That's body control and precision right there.
This guy has absolutely no fear when it comes to shooting the basketball, that's for sure.
Orangeville thought they had him stopped. Brandon Robinson makes an off-balance shot at the end of the shot clock.
Did you see the scoop pass from Tony Bennett, though?
Oh, I saw it. Look at this.
Like Mike.
Commons finishes it off. Yep. That all started with Alex Johnson.
With the putback, number 24.
17-point lead. You think Tony Bennett missed that layup on purpose?
It's possible at this point.
Beautiful pass from Jamison Tipping. Diggs can't find the bottom of the bucket.
And the lead ballooned to 15. 15?
17. Under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Pair of subs going to come in for Orangeville in the next possession. Robinson tried to find Vercelli. He didn't roll to the basket right away. Here's Diggs in transition. Commons got a piece of it on the Diggs layup, but Bilal Ben finishes it up. Long pass to Alex Johnson to Tony Bennett. Makes the A's hustle back on D. Commons directing traffic. Tony Bennett for 3 off the front of the rim.
That was a deep triple off the common screen.
We've seen him knock down shots from there before.
Why not? I mean, it's felt like the right shot, just didn't drop.
Bilal Ben off the glass and good for 2.
13, now back down to 13, and Orangeville not going away, that's for sure.
Scrappy bunch on both sides. Commons thinks about the 3, looks at the cutters, gives it out to Vercelli, top of the key. Johnson, no one home, kicks it out to Robinson for 3. No good. Commons with the rebound. He gets it to the top of the key. Windsor Express have a fresh shot clock. Tony Bennett sweeps through. Whoa!
Ooh, went down hard.
Big block from number 31, Eric Copes, flying in seemingly out of nowhere and knocks it into the third row.
That was one of the nicest block shots I think I've ever seen in my 3 seasons with this league. So, salute, young man.
Good defense. Windsor get another possession, though. Tony Bennett leaves it for Robinson. And Bilal Ben get a little bit too close to Brandon Robinson, and he's going to be called for another foul. Ben, that will be his third foul of the game. Sorry, pardon me, second. So Windsor Express will have a possession. No, it will be Brandon Robinson to go to the free throw line. 2:25 to go in the third quarter. 73-60 the score. And a good stat that I thought Justin Prince had during the halftime was the improved points per game from the Windsor Express after the acquisition of Brandon Robinson. After not scoring over 100 points in their first 2 games, the average has been over 100 for this club.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's accounting for close to 26, I believe, so that number is going to go up. And they knew that there was a scoring hole, and they didn't wait to address it. The powers that be went out and found the right player.
And there's a couple games where the Windsor Express had 3 and 4 players with 20 points plus. So you talk about offensive balance, but Brandon Robinson, when he has the ability to score 25, 30, almost effortlessly, it seems, that's a huge member of your club. Of course,
he and Chris Commons are going to account for close to 50. So it's about the supporting cast and finding guys, some usage and getting some shots, and they've done that here tonight.
Bennett, step back jumper, no good. Bilal Ben with the rebound. Swings it over to Rayek. Plays a little give and go. But unfortunately, he took a step. Took one too many, traveling violation. Windsor Express take over with 1:37 to go. Tony Bennett turning the corner. Scoops it. No, blocked again from Copes. And Tony Bennett's going to be teed up. Had something to say to the official. 2 blocks in a row. No one's going to be happy about that.
Little frustration coming from TB.
He's an emotional guy, to say the least. And now...
But that's what makes him so great, and that's what makes him such a leader on the floor, is his ability to rally, get everybody involved, get everybody going, and make those huge plays, whether it be on the offensive or defensive end.
And to a fan favorite, to say the least. I know he's got your love and affection, as most of these fans here do as well, as they're giving him a round of applause.
How can you not? Look at the effort. Look at the effort.
So, TB with 3 fouls. He's going to take a seat, most likely for the rest of the quarter. 1:25 to go. The Orangeville A's trail by 14. Looking to make a move before the end of the third. Post-to-post pass is out of the hands of Copes. Good center field play from Rayek. Leads to the open basket. Bilal Ben scoops it up and scores.
A bit of a wasted possession after Johnson throws it away with the cross-court pass.
Johnson. Finds a little opening. He scores off the glass and good.
And makes up for the turnover with the stretch layup on the left side.
Tyndale getting around the Windsor Express defense and one.
Count it, folks. And the Orangeville A's, no surrender.
Tyndale goes off the glass and good, and one. Looking to make a push here for the Orangeville A's as the fourth quarter looms. 40 seconds to go in the third. Free throw is good, and it's an 11-point game.
6 points for Tyndale.
Robinson off the wing. He cuts. Elbow. Stops. Interior pass to Commons. He goes off the glass and good.
and he had a little bit of a mismatch there, and the perfect shot for Chris Commons.
Good response from the Windsor Express. 18 seconds to go in the quarter. Tyndale goes into the low post, finds Rayek for 3. It's good.
Big bucket for the Orangeville A's.
6 seconds to go. Johnson stops for 3. Off the mark. And Brandon Robinson with a follow-up slam to cap off the third quarter. What a play.
And that's how you want to close it out if you're the Windsor Express. Fantastic athleticism shown. Great ball instincts by the newcomer, number 10, Brandon Robinson.
We'll have our stats and facts of the third quarter and more. When we return, you're watching Windsor Express basketball on Knockstrom.tv. Back here at the WFCU Center, we're just in between the third and fourth quarter between the Orangeville A's and Windsor Express. Brandon Robinson caps off the third quarter with a follow-up slam to give the Windsor Express a 12-point lead. Kobe, your thoughts heading into the fourth?
Well, there's some relentless effort being displayed by the Orangeville A's, who absolutely will not go away, but the Windsor Express continue to answer the bell, whether it be a big defensive play or a bucket. They're doing everything possible to try to close this thing out.
And one stat to me that has stuck out all game is the points in the paint for the Windsor Express, 44-20 in favor of Windsor.
And part of that is because of the turnovers. The Orangeville A's have 22, the Express with 16 steals. And then we got to look at the 21 points they've scored off of those turnovers. So really a lot of this has been Orangeville's mistakes and Windsor capitalizing, whether it be from outside or in the paint. Windsor is making the most of Orangeville's errors.
Yes, Orangeville out-rebounding the Windsor Express up to this point. It's the interior has been solidified by Justin Moss, Robert Diggs, and Eric Copes, providing really well in the absence of Flynn Whitfield, who has not appeared in the second half. 12-point deficit. What do the Orangeville A's got to do to make this a tight game and possibly pull it out?
It's the same thing, slowing down Brandon Robinson and Chris Commons. Both of these guys, once again, are over 20 points per game. They got to find some defensive stops. Like I said, they came into this thing a -6 in the scoring margin, and that's starting to show.
Windsor outscoring Orangeville just 24-23 in the third quarter. So I would give a good effort to the A's on that one.
Absolutely, but it becomes about protecting the basketball. So it's not just solely about shutting down the two hot players. It becomes about protecting the ball. And now let's see if Windsor can finally outscore a team in the fourth quarter. Well, I shouldn't say finally. Let's see if they can do it in this game in particular. They are up.
Bilal Ben kicks it out. At the end of the shot clock, Anton Rayek with the 3-point basket. Big basket for the Orangeville A's.
And it's down to 9. We got a ball game, folks.
Lowest margin in quite some time. It was up to 20 points during the second quarter. And there's going to be another technical foul going to be assessed. This one going to be called against Brandon Robinson, I believe. We'll see. We'll just wait for the official comment. We're up top in the media suite, so we don't hear as other crews do. They're down on the floor and they can hear specifically what the officials are saying.
Yeah, we're looking at player reaction, and I was thinking the same thing, Brandon Robinson.
So Rick Bodiford going to the free throw line.
And a bad time for this to happen if you're the Windsor Express. So this fourth quarter really becomes an important one.
Right now, Orangeville will get possession back. Now it's only an 8-point game after the free throw. So
they hit a triple and it's 5. So,
and that's what I like about this team. Every time I've turned on a game with the Orangeville A's, they're never out of it.
And you see them turning up the intensity here.
Miss inside from Copes. Alex Johnson with a lead pass to Robinson. Tyndale going to be charged with a foul. Nice heads-up play from the point guard. Making the most and getting his score in space.
Indeed, it was a very pretty pass. And Brandon Robinson, 6 for 6 from the line. So if you're the Express and you have someone shooting free throws, this is definitely the guy.
Trying to push Windsor's lead back to 10 points here in the early going of the fourth quarter on Knockstrom.tv. Brett Hedges and Kobe K on the call. Thank you for joining us today. It's a snowy day outside, but it's hot in here. Brandon Robinson doing it once again for the Windsor Express. Getting closer and closer to the 30-point mark once again.
And very close to leading this league in points per game. It's he and Logan Stutz battling it out for the NBL's top scorer.
And what a story Logan Stutz has been this season so far for the Niagara River Lions. They've won some close games. They beat Windsor by 1 point a couple weeks ago.
He and Zaglinski, just a wonderful two-player punch. A great combination right there.
Justin Moss off the bounce. Contested from Mo Bolden, looking for a call. No good. Here they come in transition. Adrian Moss. Windsor taking their time. Moss doing some work. Finding Chris Commons down low. It scoots into Shaq Keith. He scores off the glass and good.
What a pass by Adrian Moss.
Shaq Keith, 7 points in the game now. Diggs. Inside, it's good. Pardon me. Yeah, it's Robert Diggs.
And that's 12 points for Diggs. It's been helping keep the Orangeville A's in this game.
Robert.
5 boards to go along with those 10 points.
Had to double check, make sure. Robert Diggs was had just entered the game in favor of Eric Copes. Commons for 3, no good. TB saves it from going over the half-court line. Shaq Keith finishes in tight.
Tony Bennett hits him on the fly.
With some flair. Tyndale. Leaves it for Bodiford. Oh, and he nearly makes it a 3-point play. Bodiford always bringing the heat every time he's in the game.
Indeed. Some great dribble penetration there. It's almost switches hands in the air, makes the adjustment, gets himself on the free throw line.
Not to name drop, but I actually had the opportunity to interview Morris Peterson last night.
Mo P
at the NBA All-Star Challenge at the University of Windsor last night.
Former Toronto Raptor.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I told him about the growth of this league in professional basketball in Canada, and he was more than ecstatic to hear about that.
He was a fun guy to watch for the Toronto Raptors. When he heated up, it was quite a sight.
And I asked him about the NBL Canada, so maybe some of our fans in the NBL Canada fan page, I'll be able to put that up eventually.
Did you tell him about me, though?
Of course I did. I told him you were his biggest fan. Tony Bennett for 3. It's good.
Boom. Mr. 40-plus.
Names earned, not given. Pushing the lead to 13 now after the Orangeville A's had kept it at 10 for quite some time. Jamison Tipping looking to respond just off the mark. But there is Robert Diggs with the O board.
6 rebounds for Diggs.
Chris Commons going to be called for the foul. That'll be his third.
Press foul to number 24, Chris Commons, his third personal, team 4.
And very similar body types, Chris Commons and Robert Diggs. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting matchup. Waterford at the top of the key. Tyndale looking for a high screen. He slips it, goes to the left, leaves it for Justin Moss, but a foul is going to be called on the pass. Baseline inbound. Just under 9 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Thanks for watching us. Knockstrom.tv. Oh, Tyndale off a nice pass from Jamison Tipping. No good, but look who's there again. And now charged with an offensive foul, Robert Diggs.
And lucky for the Express is they gave up 2 offensive rebounds here in the last minute, and that's not what they want to be doing. They want to get out of here with the W. Those recycled possessions for Orangeville can mean trouble.
Yeah, 3 opportunities on that play after 2 offensive boards by Robert Diggs, spoiled by the offensive foul. Commons now working against Diggs in the low post. He finds Tony Bennett at the cup for 2.
Chris Commons with the beautiful touch pass and Tony Bennett with the finish.
When you watch some of these guys just play and have such good chemistry in space, it's fun to watch. Tipping for 3 and he knocks it down. Orangeville's lead scorer knocks down his 4th triple of the game.
It's 16 points for Tipping. Orangeville not going anywhere. 8 minutes left.
And who's going to be called for that foul? I believe it's going to be Robert Diggs going to be called for the foul. So that's 2 straight on Diggs. Something for Chris Thomas to be aware of. And his 4th personal.
This Ring My Bell tune that DJ Thor's playing is making me think of the Book of Eli.
Gotta love DJ Thor.
He is one heck of a DJ.
I love talking about the league with him too. He's very knowledgeable. Big fan since day one. Brandon Robinson turnaround jumper, no good. Remember an early road trip up to Oshawa in our first year with DJ Thor? He's been a good friend ever since.
Turnover.
Bennett trying to find Adrian Moss in transition. That one knocked away from the Orangeville A's. Windsor basketball on the Orangeville baseline.
24 turnovers for the Orangeville A's. That's the whole case, Brett. And not a stat that they're going to want to look at when this thing's all said and done. If the Windsor Express get out of here with a W, that's going to be a focal point.
Wow, what a creative pass from Adrian Moss. Tony Bennett can't finish inside. Bilal Ben backing it up for the Orangeville A's. 7 minutes and 15 seconds to go. Jamison Tipping eyeing up a 3-pointer. Oh, he's going to be called for an offensive foul.
And who draws the offensive foul?
And so Tipping called for the offensive foul. Then the Orangeville bench going to be issued a technical as well.
So 25 turnovers and Tony Bennett once again drawing that offensive foul. So this really starts to hurt the Orangeville A's because of the loss of momentum. Another offensive foul here, Brandon Robinson with the free throw, and then they get the ball back.
Yeah, big swing of plays for a team that's down 12, now 13. Robinson makes the free throw, 13-point lead. Chris Thomas getting some clarification from the sideline official about the technical foul. That's going to bring over the far side official. Let's speak with, I believe it's the crew chief.
The Express, 20 of 22 from the free throw line for just about 91%. You got to wonder if that is quite possibly the best free throw shooting we've seen to this team. We'll have to dig into the NBL archives.
Morris looking inside. Brandon Robinson facing up on Rick Bodiford. Kicks it out to Maurice Bolden for 3. No good. Commons up there to try and get the rebound. He's battling Robert Diggs though. Bilal Ben to Diggs. Loses it at his feet. He's out of bounds. No, they're going to tie it up. We'll wait for the official decision. I believe they're going to say that Diggs was out of bounds, so it's Windsor Express basketball. No, they're going to say jump ball. Just as soon as you say something, you know, the broadcaster's curse. So it is Windsor Express basketball on the tie-up. And here we go.
The A's 8 for 19 from long, 42% for three-point land. You got to wonder if they're going to go back to that shot to try to close this gap.
Got to get some points in a hurry. Well, not in a hurry, but wow, beautiful pass from Tony Bennett to Chris Commons for 2.
Just instinctual chemistry from Bennett to Chris Commons.
Some league veterans right there getting it done for the Express. Justin Moss going to draw a foul on the drive. Moss, such a physical presence for the A's. He is 6'8" and all of 240 pounds.
But 2 for 7 tonight, 5 points. So credit Windsor for shutting him down. This is a guy that is good for basically 26 and 12. So
Waterford gets bumped by Robinson on the inbound. So he'll go to the free throw line, I believe, as the Express are over 5 fouls in this frame.
Conductor Cole Train is carrying Thor's hammer down there.
At the line for Brampton, number 2.
That's pretty awesome.
Now, Kobe, me and you wanted to talk about this last time. We had the idea of maybe making a few divisions of player of the game situations.
Right.
And maybe this is a good opportunity to ask the NBL Canada fans
who they think
should be their 3 stars, so to speak, of this game. Could be from both teams.
Okay, is that what you want to do? 3 stars to both teams? They can hit us up on Twitter. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I think that'd be a fun idea.
I like it.
Now, a foul going to be called in the early front court for the Windsor Express. So any NBL Canada fans, you can hit me and Kobe up on Twitter, Kobe519. He'll be able to read them off and see what we've got.
At Kobe519 is the handle. Please remember to follow. I'll gladly follow you back. I'm approaching 1,000 Twitter followers, Brett.
Robinson out the far side. Man, you're beating me up. I've only got 700 now.
I was a Twitter loser for quite some time.
Chris Commons in the low post getting it done.
And Tony Jones happy with his troops.
Bilal Ben loses the handle, gets it back, but he's going to be a backcourt violation.
And you see Moss and Bolden immediately run over for the double team. These guys are really in sync right now, the Windsor Express. It's been a collective team effort here.
15-point lead. And Chris Thomas of the Orangeville A's is arguing that the ball was deflected before Bilal Ben collected it in the backcourt. And he's probably got a case. I'm not going to deny him that for sure. So Windsor takes advantage and promptly get called for the offensive foul. So sometimes the basketball gods, they say their piece in the middle of a game.
And you got to wonder if the A's are going to go to the long ball here. They've only got 22 points in the paint. They're 8 for 19 from long, 42%. And they need to play catch-up here. They need to score some points.
Waterford starts it off with a little little teardrop. Can't get it to fall. Tony Bennett in transition at the free throw line. Scoops it up with the left hand.
And into the crowd.
Front row, and he draws a foul. Tony Bennett, I don't want to use the term greasy, but he gets himself into the smallest spaces and he's able to move his body, and it's fun to watch.
Tony Bennett up close and personal in the front row.
Yep. And I was reminded of this. I was speaking with a friend of mine about how in the Windsor's first season, their first championship season, when they have Darren Duncan and Stefan Bonneau, a Tony Bennett-led London Lightning team took this team to the brink of a 7-game series. So to have those two names in your backcourt at the time and to be fully contested by Tony Bennett-led squad, says a lot about his character and his skill set.
Absolutely, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If they want to repeat this year, he is instrumental in not getting done.
Fan of the game is...
Look at that guy, right out, knew exactly what the answer was.
Chris Commons, the longest-serving member of the Windsor Express currently.
Is that not the guy you just texted the answer to, Brett? Is that
Yeah,
your buddy?
that was me.
No, I'm just kidding.
He must have been listening on the broadcast when I said the exact number of games he's played.
Look, here comes Michelangelo on the court. I wonder if he's going to try to take down the Coltrane.
He's doing the...
No.
Oh, I see a Magic Johnson jersey in the house. Shout out to the guy in the front row wearing the Magic
Old
Johnson
school.
jersey.
He's got the goldish yellow, number 32. One of the best point guards ever. Maybe the best.
You know, he was pretty good.
The innovator. Pretty good.
He started at center in the NBA Finals when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar went out.
That
he was
shows
pretty,
the
pretty
versatility.
versatile. Yeah.
No, he was...
Jinx. Said versatility at the same time. 97-82 the score for the Windsor Express. Heading into the latter half of the fourth. Windsor looking to push their lead further. They are up 15. Orangeville looking to get some points in a hurry. Trying to improve their record. Windsor looking to snap a 2-game losing streak. We'll be back here next Friday. Yes, Friday. Friday, Saturday next week.
I cannot wait. Friday and Saturday?
Yes. I believe... I can't say right off the top of my head. I will look it up and tell you who we're going to be playing soon. Tony Bennett misses the first free throw. Hopefully some of our friends in the NBO Canada fan page world are going to tweet us in or message us in what their thoughts are for the 3 players of the game.
I give it to Bennett based on the defensive effort. That's just me. I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be Commons or Brandon Robinson down on the court, but you can't deny what Tony Bennett did. The defensive effort certainly helped lead the way.
And another technical foul going to be assessed on in the game. I believe that's 31 that's going to be charged with that. Not too sure. We'll wait for the official announcement. Maybe we should make 3 divisions of player of the game, you know, like Heart and Hustle Award, Shining Star of the game. Maybe we should ask Alex for his thoughts on that.
Well, then maybe we'll move it to 1 player if we're going to do all these divisions. This is a lot of work, Brett. We're trying to work on the fly here. Come on.
A lot of work for a lot of guys that work hard. They all deserve recognition.
He's like, let's make our 15 players of the game. Everybody wins. Everybody's player of the game. Well, the Orangeville A's end up with at least 4 players in double digits. They potentially may have another. Bilal Ben gets to shoot again. So a lot of effort here from the Orangeville A's. And they've out-rebounded the Windsor Express thus far, 33-30, and then with the 9 offensive. So they're maybe going to fall a little bit shy of that cat in such an important one as they're able to get those second chance points opportunities.
Well, a pair of free throws there. I'm sorry, yeah, there's a couple of technicals on each side, I believe. So Orangeville gets the basketball back. It's 13-point differential. They're looking to trim this deficit right now with a good offensive possession. Copes squares up and shoots and knocks it down, making 11 points with 5 minutes to go. Eric Copes getting it done.
Big bucket.
Tony Bennett spin move off the glass, no good, but a late foul going to be called. Eric Copes.
So we've seen a ton of whistles in this one.
Yeah. Not exactly our favorite brand of
57 team fouls in total.
We've had games that end up in the high 70s.
I remember that. That was like a episode of the Twilight Zone.
The basketball game that never ends.
57 total team fouls is the updated number.
Well, they're working hard, and Tony Bennett's working hard to crack 100 points for his squad.
But I'll tell you what, when you're shooting over 89% from the line, you'll take them.
Tony Bennett makes it 100-87 with a pair of free throws. Rayett gives it to Tyndale on the corner, knocked away from Commons.
Express ball.
It will stay with the Orangeville A's? No.
I think it's Express ball.
No, it is Orangeville ball. Shelbyville. Shelbyville.
The
Springfield.
turnover number will stay at 26 for the A's.
Tyndale looking inside. Nope, kicks it out. 2 passes later, Bodiford in the corner. No good. Hits the top of the backboard. And Commons picks it up and gives it over to Moss. Make sure to check out our post-game show shortly after the duration of the game. Justin Prince and Aaron Sanders will break it down. Just like they did at halftime, doing a great job. Adrian Moss spins in the corner, puts up a shot at the buzzer. Chris Commons tips it out.
And the 9th offensive rebound for the Windsor Express.
Moss getting forced right. Alley-oop. No, Tony Bennett can't finish inside, but Mo Bolden does.
10 offensive rebounds for the Windsor Express. And Mo Bolden with the big finish. They just cracked 100 now. This team has been no shortage of effort this afternoon.
Tyndale inside, gets fouled. And a good effort from Tyndale to step inside the three-point line and take the harm. He'll go to the free throw line for a pair. 3:22 remaining. Orangeville is looking to make a run here. Tyndale steps to the free throw line for the first time today. Sorry, he's been there once. Off a three-point play, he knocked down his only one.
You know, I got to say, in regards to the Orangeville A's and their offensive output today, they have 87 collective points, but everybody's chipped in. It's every single player that has minutes tonight has scored. So again, it's a testament to the depth this team has.
And we haven't seen Flynn Whitfield since the end of the first half. He took a hard tumble. Not exactly sure what his ailment is, but if he's out of the game, then hopefully he comes back soon. He's an integral part of this team, and they're missing him a little bit today. The ability to score from anywhere, Flynn Whitfield. Robinson. Nice pass to Bennett on the baseline. And Bodiford thought he had all ball there. Tony Bennett draws another foul. Bodiford might have had a case there. Tony Bennett headed back to the free throw line.
Bennett 4 of 6 from the charity stripe. He's also got 21 big points, 6 dimes, 3 boards. He's hit a triple, 8 for 18 from the field. But it's all those steals, Brett, that I like.
Couldn't agree more.
The smile cam is on the fans right now. Now it's gone.
And I believe there's a final in Halifax against Moncton. The Hurricanes taking a 117-107 score.
They needed that win as the London Lightning are surging. Talking about the best team in the NBL.
Yep. We will be back here next Friday against the London Lightning. Next Friday before we host the Niagara River Lions on the next Saturday evening as well.
So big divisional game, Central Division game here against the London Lightnings. And a measuring stick for who's running things in the Central.
Yeah, the Lightning and the River Lions will battle against each other on a Wednesday coming up on the 20th in St. Catharines at the Meridian Center. So make sure to check that out. The Niagara live stream, very good live stream team there. Spoke with their color commentator after the Niagara game here last Saturday. Nice, well-spoken guy. Good to see good things going on across the league.
I'm enjoying watching all these fans do the Tootsie Roll in the stands. It's going off up here, folks. Just look out onto the sea of people. It's amazing.
It's great. Doing the Tootsie Roll. Couldn't agree more.
I want to see Alex do the Tootsie Roll. Uh-oh, here he comes.
Here he comes.
What?
Well, we want to see you do the Tootsie Roll sometime on the dance floor.
That
I don't even know what it is.
Me neither.
I don't really know what the dance is, but I think, Alex, if anyone could break it down, it'd be you with that Spanish flavor.
If 2 Live Crew tells me to Tootsie Roll, I'm going to Tootsie Roll.
Oh, guys, just to let you know that now Ken is in camera 1. Kevin just took he was feeling not very good with his stomach, so we take a little bit of a break.
Tony Bennett almost getting in front of that pass. Big shout out to our crew members here today, helping us out on Knockstrom.tv. Ken Miller, Dan Shelley, Aaron Sanders, Justin Prince.
What do you do here? 13 points, under 2.5 to go. The Windsor Express very close to victory.
Bennett
on the fall away.
Can't get it to fall. Daniel O'Keefe with the rebound. And Mo Bolden in transition swipes it away. Alley-oop! Mo Bolden.
Off the Orangeville A's turnover. Windsor making the most out of Orangeville's careless play.
With 2:14 to go, Chris Commons gives up a nice alley-oop to Mo Bolden. Give Windsor a 15-point lead. Bilal Ben looking to respond. He steps inside the three-point line, leaves it up for Rayek. He can't get it to fall. Brandon Robinson, he'll grab it, and Adrian Moss slowly brings it up the floor. Putting the ball in the freezer, as my good friend Alex would say. Bolden fakes the shot, gives it up to Robinson. Under 10 to go. Toward the basket, puts up a floater. Mo Bolden with the follow-up gets fouled by Copes.
The man had some serious ups, Brett.
Quick reminder to fans that Knockstrom.tv will be at Caesars Windsor Casino on February 3rd, broadcasting the Clash of the Coliseum 3 between the Windsor Express and London Lightning. It's going to be a fun time there. Kobe, me and you had a chance to broadcast it last year.
Oh yeah, great time.
Should be fun to see the crowd that comes into downtown Windsor. Windsor Express, the first team to play a basketball game in a casino in a professional manner.
And what a wonderful job Caesars did setting up and getting ready. Real professional atmosphere. City loved it. Fans loved it. It's really a win-win for the NBL. You know, the visiting team, the Windsor Express, the city. Awesome partnership.
Bodiford taking the handoff from Copes. They play a little give and go. Copes faces up on Mo Bolden. Mo Bolden reaches in and is called for the foul. 1:30 to go here. Windsor up 16, but Copes going to the free throw line, looking to make a dent.
You know, barring any setbacks here or flukes, or, you know, we can say stranger things have happened, but it's looking good for the Express to get back to their winning ways.
Checking in is Vercelli.
I see a sign. Can you read that?
One crazy Mobo. Wow, that's funny.
That is
Mo Bolden.
Yeah, that is for Mo Bolden. We have one crazy Mobo in the stands. And he's rocking the Win City shirt.
Yes, he is.
Real-time fan. And real quick here, folks, if you're listening, next Sunday, we are going to shoot the first NBL Live Weekly Canada podcast. Brett and I will be hosting with contributions from around the league. So much more news to come on that. Just a little tidbit of information for you.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that. Lou Bisha Vercelli kicks it up. Adrian Moss for three.
That was the final nail in the coffin.
Tyndale over to Bilal Ben. Nope, it's stolen from Chris Commons. Here he comes to transition. Skip past to Moss. He pulls it out. 1 minute to go. Brandon Robinson. Shaq Keith. And one. Eric Copes got there just a little too late. Shaq Keith goes off the glass and good. Takes the hoop and the harm.
Makes it count. All smiles on the floor right now if you're the Windsor Express. Whole team feeling it.
So the Windsor Express, after this contest, will have off until next Friday before they host 2 straight games on Friday and Saturday night. They'll go away for a contest against the Niagara River Lions up in St. Catharines before they come back home to host the Island Storm on Friday, January 29th. And then, of course, we'll have the Clash at the Coliseum, so it's going to be a lot of fun over the next couple weeks for Windsor Express fans and NBL Canada fans.
I'm sure the Windsor Express are going to appreciate going into this break, for this little period of time to reflect, look at, what's going on the road. They've closed things out in the fourth quarter here today. They're going to go on to win this game. So this is good news for the Windsor Express.
Bilal Bend at the free throw line for 2 as the Windsor Express put in Jamal McQueen and Paul Cooper to go along with Shaq Keith, Alex Johnson, and Chris Commons to finish out this game.
And Shaq Keith with 11 points, doing some damage too from the free throw line. Nice to see him contributing.
With a victory here, the Windsor Express will move back to 5-5. Alex Johnson, a little step back, no good. Bilal Ben going coast to coast. Beautiful finish at the line. And a little bit of a tie-up afterward. Paul Cooper and Eric Copes. They shake it off and they get back to it. No foul on the play. 27 seconds to go. It's been a great time. Big shout out to our crew members here today. Dan Shelley, Kevin Miller, and Ken Miller for helping us out. Of course, your humble servant Alejandro. They are Mero, our executive producer. Offensive foul called on an illegal screen. Make sure to stick around for the post-game show hosted by Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince, breaking down the game and every game across the NBL Canada today on Sunday afternoon.
17 ticks left in this one. Crowd feeling it.
Rayek for 3. It's no good. Common swoops in for one last rebound. And that will do it, folks.
2, 1. It's all she wrote.
The Windsor Express come away with a 111-95 victory over the Orangeville A's in the third meeting between the two clubs this season. Windsor breaks a 2-game losing streak and evens their record at 5-5.
It was all turnovers that spoiled it for the Orangeville A's, 28 of them. The Windsor Express end up with 28 points off those turnovers, which subsequently helped them to score 56 points in the paint to Orangeville's 24. Windsor got great production out of multiple players. They did a fantastic job from the field, shooting over 50%. And then, of course, Orangeville put them on the free throw line one too many times. 26 of 32 for just over 80%.
When Chris Commons named the player of the game, and we'll have more from that with Justin Prince and Aaron Sanders in the post-game show. For all of us here at Knockstrom.tv, we thank you for joining us today. Brett Hedges is saying so long from the WFCU Center. We'll see you next time.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Great job as always, and great job once again for the Windsor Express. They defeat the Orangeville A's 111 to 95 rather. It is time for the Knockstrom post game. Once again, I'm Aaron. He's JP, Justin Prince, and JP. A physical second half, but once again, the Windsor Express pulled through, and they are now 3-1 at home.
Yes, right now I can say, like I said at the end of the first half during the halftime show, if the Orangeville A's were able to keep up that pressure, defensive pressure into the end of the second quarter, they would have had a chance in this one, but Windsor just increased the intensity both on offense and defense and showed a lot of hustle, especially point guard Tony Bennett, who had a nice game, lots of steals. Don't have the exact total, but it had to be at least 6 to 8 steals for Tony Bennett tonight.
He stepped up, master lock defense and everything. And I mentioned this off air before we even went on. This would be a great physical game. There would be a lot of technicals along the way. Less ejections. You rarely see ejections in this place these days, but a lot of technicals on the part of Orangeville and Windsor. It just goes to show how physical these two teams are every time they meet the court, no matter where they are.
Yes, this was definitely, like you said, very physical, lots of technicals. I'm surprised there wasn't even many ejections, if not any ejections in this game, but for the most part, you expect a very physical matchup between these two teams whenever they hit the floor against each other. They've shown that so far in all three of their matchups so far, But let me tell you, tonight was a good win for sure for Windsor, though.
A win they needed the most. Remember, they dropped 2 on the road last couple of days. First of all against Moncton, and then they went to Charlottetown to face a Storm. They lost that 2-game losing streak broken, 3-1 at home, and now they even up their record. They are 5-5 at home. It's quite perplexing how low the defense was within the last couple of days, but they really stepped it up for a big rivalry game as this one.
Yes, I'm actually a little bit surprised about that, because I will say, though, that it seems as though with a lot of the Atlantic Division games, they're pretty high scoring for the most part, but with today's matchup, it was definitely a bounce-back game for the Windsor Express. The question will be, will they be able to keep up that intensity in the next couple games and for the next couple weeks?
Well, these next few weeks and these next few days of games are going to be quite a doozy. The Express got their work cut out for them. They really put up a good effort. 111-95 is the final score. We're going to pause here momentarily, but we will return for more out-of-town scores and our thoughts along the road. You are watching the Knockstrom postgame. We'll be back in a moment. We return now. This is the Knockstrom post game as the Windsor Express take down the Orangeville A's 111-95. They lead their season series now 2-1 in favor. Let's just go back for a moment and talk about how these two teams are faring right now every time they meet up. They played 3 games so far. It's quite obvious they're going to play more. Much more intensity is going to come up. So let's go back all the way to the first game. The first game of this season. It was a really great game. You know, they were sloppy. Both clubs were sloppy on offense and defense in the first half, but they really picked it up. Only for Bilal Pin of Orangeville to knock down a 3 to give Orangeville their first victory of the season, 98-97. Tough heartbreak loss for Windsor, but now we fast forward a couple of more days throughout. We go to New Year's Day. Windsor comes into Orangeville's building, and, takes over that. Like we mentioned the last few half times in post games, it was one of the most physical first halves we have seen so far from both of these clubs. What do you think about that?
Well, I think so far for those first 2 games, of course, it was the beginning of the season, because when you're at the beginning of the season, as one person mentioned back then, when you're a team, when you have a lot of roster turnover, like both of these teams had. Windsor had 6 returning players. Orangeville, I can't remember the exact number off the top of my head right now, but there was a lot of roster turnover. You have to have time to adjust. With the first 2 games of the season for Windsor, that's what happened with their first 2 losses of the season, coming into that matchup against Orangeville, where they started turning things around for the start of the season. And I can say right now that it's going to be fun to watch these 2 teams play as this season goes on. The question will be how they will finish out. But for the most part, it's been, in every single game, very physical, very tough. Sometimes there's been a lot of technicals, like the last 2 games. There's been a lot of technicals, especially this one. and it's just, with this series, it's always been very physical, especially this season. And we'll have to see how it continues out for the rest of the season. What do you think?
Well, these Central Division rivals, have their work cut out for them during this season. You know, every time these two meet, like you said, great physical game. You know, it took a little bit for the physicality to really step into this game, but, you know, when the second half kicked, oh boy, you better believe it. A lot of physicality, a lot of movements, a lot of technical fouls, as you mentioned, but you know what? You got to expect that when these two teams come together. It even goes back to last year when they played in the division final. So you got to expect the physical form to come into play. You got to expect really tough defense and really great offense to come along the way. What do you think?
Well, I agree with you with that because right now, when you're both of these teams right now, you have to make sure you, win your games, of course, but at the same time, you have to play physical at times. You have to make sure that you continue to fight hard for rebounds, fight hard to get in the baskets, in the paint, fight to get turnovers, force turnovers, I should say, and just play good basketball. Right now, both these teams, whenever they play against each other, play good basketball, but for the past couple games, Windsor has just taken advantage of both the tempo as well as been able to just score the ball and force their defensive pressure on the Orangeville Ace, because there was a lot of turnovers for sure from Orangeville, up at least more than 20 for them this game. It's just,
yeah.
That's the best I can say right now.
Hey, it's all good. I mean, you were really out. Good thoughts. Let's just admit it. The last two games, you know, Windsor's defense was faltering inside, but they really stepped it up. Okay, let's just take one more commercial break, and we're going to wrap things up, look on the road ahead, and some out-of-town scores. We'll be back following this commercial timeout.
Do you love me?
Of course I love you. Hey, guess what? I got a job interview tomorrow.
Hunter, you're not listening. How do you know that my love for you is real? Is any of this real?
You have delusional psychosis.
Quote, you're now working for a powerful drug cartel.
Get out of here and move on. It's not gonna
Sometimes love can blind people from reality.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back once again with the Knoxham halftime. Aaron Sanders, Justin Prince. We're going to bring you up to date with some out-of-town scores. First of all, we're going to talk about the Halifax Hurricanes and Moncton Miracle game. Halifax defeat Moncton 117-107, and Halifax, once again, the cream of the crop of the Atlantic Division. Your thoughts on their great start so far, JP?
Well, with everything that happened in the finals for the 2015 NBLC finals, most people were thinking this team is not going to be successful. This team is going to be rough for the most part. But for the most part, they've been playing very good to start off the season, getting nice wins both in their division so far, and definitely doing good. Their attendance can still needs to go a little bit higher, in my opinion, and for their team, but right now this team is doing very well for the Halifax Hurricanes so far.
I like the ball play they've been doing so far. You know, despite what happened, you know, this is a rebranded team. I mean, there were a lot of doubts along the way, but why need doubts when you're at the top of the Atlantic Division and with such ball handling skills? What great plays they usually come up in these days. Okay, we have another game for you right here. It's the Niagara River Lions. They travel to St. John to battle the Mill Rats. Mill Rats are on top 72-55, and I mentioned in our first game here when we broadcasted that the Mill Rats isn't your run-of-the-mill Rats team. They have a great inside game. What's your thoughts on both clubs?
For both clubs, to start off with the River Lions, I definitely like the River Lions. I know Logan Stutz and Sammy Siglinski are definitely two of the they're two leaders for sure, and they definitely depend on them. Like, both of them have been playing very well to start off. This team overall, for an expansion franchise, is doing much better than many people probably have expected. As for the Mill Rats, well, they're doing, like, as usual, very good and trying to make a run for the championship. But at the same time, you have to wonder how many more moves they can make, because I believe they've made 5 moves so far. The limit is 8 moves for the season. Ooh. So question will be, how will the team look at the end of the season, but right now I can say they're doing very good as well. Both of those teams very well.
River Lions, despite their record, I'll piggyback on what you say, a really tough team. And you know what? Logan Stutz have caught my eye the most ever since. He was last week's player of the week in the league, and you know, he made historical accomplishments as scoring the first basket in River Lions history. He has a low and tough box out. You know, he's non-hesitant when he goes to the post. His post play has been phenomenal. You know, no surprise there if he succeeds and becomes the MVP as we go near to the end of the season. Speaking of near, let's just go to the future of the Windsor Express. They have 2 home games here. We'll be back here for you Friday for a 7:30 tip-off against another division rival, the London Lightning. That's going to be a great one. And then the day after that, we talked about the River Lions. We're going to see them again right here the following Saturday, 7:30 tip-off against the Niagara River Lions. What's your thoughts on these next 2 games as we come back here at the end of the week?
Well, both of them are tough matchups to come into this upcoming Friday and Saturday for sure, because let me tell you, London's doing really good. From what I've seen, they're at championship caliber right now. You know, they're definitely a really good squad for sure. They definitely play well, especially from what I seen last night when they beat the Orangeville A's down at the Athlete Institute in I believe around Orangeville. I'm blanking on the exact location, but as we said with Niagara, these 2 teams have played a lot, Niagara and Windsor, to start off this season. The question will be, how will Windsor play against Niagara? Because with Niagara, in most of their matchups so far, it's been a size difference that has been a major impact, where Niagara has had them more size than Windsor, and in turn has out-rebounded them in a few of their matchups so far. In my opinion, these are both 2 winnable games, but it's the matter of, if you do not have 100% hustle on offense and defense, and you play basically half-asleep defense like the Orangeville A's did in the first half, you are not going to win the game, either of those games most likely, I'm going to be honest.
Well, my thoughts are like this. I mean, you talked about, you know, offensively and defensively how efficient you have to be within those next 2 games, but the way I see it, it's all about the defense, and Windsor really stepped it up despite those last 2 losses right there. Considering what I've seen here this afternoon, Windsor has enough confidence right now to really give London and Niagara quite a shock. It's going to be down to the wire game, and I'm laying it on you right now, and I'm on record for this. I expect a big assist game from Superman Johnson, and I expect a big boy game from Maurice Bolden. Those are my 2 players of the weekend as we go into that game. So what do you think about those predictions?
Well, for the most part, you've been right on almost every single prediction you've made so far this season, so I have to agree with you there, because as with Maurice Bolden, he has definitely been a major impact so far for the Express throughout this season. Definitely fighting for rebounds all the time, fighting to get shots in the paint, making shots in the paint. He is definitely a major impact. Superman Johnson, and it depends, that prediction with Superman Johnson, I can see it happening, but it also depends on how much time he plays in those games.
No, absolutely. You know? Absolutely. I agree with you on that. But you know what? We're just going to have to wait and see like all of you will. So, JP, once again, I will see you again Friday and Saturday night, 7:30. Remember, Friday, the Express take on the London Lightning, and Saturday they will face the Niagara River Lions right here at the WFCU Center, and we hope to enjoy the pleasure of your company as well. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching, and Kayla, thank you for the tie. I love it. Best gift ever. So, incidentally, this has been a presentation of Knockstrom Digital Media, pursuing the media excellence in the Windsor-Essex County. Until Friday night, for JP, Justin Prince, this would be Aaron Sanders saying so long from the Rose City.